My beloved child, last night, a conversation took place that nobody expected. What started as an ordinary gathering quickly turned into a moment that left everyone completely silent. Your soulmate had been keeping something hidden for a long time. They laughed, smiled, and acted as though everything was normal, but deep inside, a truth had been growing stronger with every passing day. Then someone asked a question that changed the entire atmosphere. It seemed simple at first. A casual question about the future, commitment, and the kind of person they could see themselves spending their life with. Most people expected a quick answer. Instead, your soulmate paused. The room became quiet. Their expression changed. And for several seconds, nobody spoke. My child, that pause revealed more than words ever could. Because in that moment, they stopped hiding from their feelings. They stopped giving safe answers. They stopped pretending they didn't already know what their heart wanted. Stayed till the end, because what they confessed next shocked even the people who knew them best. The confession didn't arrive all at once. It came piece by piece. First, they admitted that they had been thinking seriously about their future. Then they admitted that one person kept appearing in those thoughts. Their friends exchanged surprised looks because they had never heard them speak this way before. But the real shock came when your soulmate revealed something they had never told anyone. They confessed that whenever they imagined a happy and lasting partnership, they always pictured the same energy, the same connection, and the same feeling of comfort that they experienced with you. The room went silent again. Nobody expected such honesty. One friend immediately asked, "If you're so certain about what you feel, why haven't you said anything?" The question hit deeply. Your soulmate lowered their eyes and gave an answer that nobody saw coming. They admitted that fear of timing had kept them quiet. Fear that circumstances weren't fully aligned. Fear that speaking too soon might change everything. But despite those fears, one thing remained undeniable. The feelings never disappeared. In fact, they only became stronger. My beloved child, at that moment everyone present realized this was no ordinary crush, no temporary fascination, and no passing emotion. This was something much deeper. As the conversation continued, another revelation emerged. A close friend asked them to describe the qualities they would want in a lifelong partner. Without realizing it, your soulmate began describing you. Not your appearance, not superficial details, but your energy, your heart, your way of making people feel understood. The room became completely still as they spoke. Then one friend smiled and said, "It sounds like you've already made your choice." Those words landed with incredible force. Your soulmate didn't argue. They didn't deny it. They simply sat there reflecting on everything they had just revealed. And in that silence, everyone received their answer. My child, what left people speechless wasn't just the confession itself. It was the sincerity behind it. For the first time, your soulmate allowed others to see what had truly been inside their heart all along. Something huge is waiting for you because after everyone left, your soulmate spent hours thinking about that conversation. And before the night ended, they reached a realization so powerful that it may change the direction of this entire connection. In the next part, you'll discover the private thought they couldn't stop replaying after the confession was over, and why it has become impossible for them to ignore anymore. Long after everyone went home, the confession was still echoing inside their mind. Your soulmate thought the conversation would bring relief. They thought that finally speaking their truth aloud would help them move on with their evening. But that is not what happened. The moment they found themselves alone, every word came rushing back. Every question, every answer, every reaction from the people sitting around them. My beloved child, there was one particular moment they couldn't stop replaying. It was the exact second their friend said, "It sounds like you've already made your choice." At the time, they brushed it aside. But later that night, those words felt impossible to ignore. Because deep down, they knew there was truth hidden inside them. For the first time, they stopped asking whether the connection was important and started asking how important it truly was. That single shift changed everything. Suddenly, memories that once seemed ordinary began carrying new meaning. Small conversations, unexpected encounters, strange coincidences, pieces of a puzzle they had never fully assembled before. Stay till the end, because what they realized next left even them speechless. As they continued reflecting, another truth slowly surfaced. They realized that every time someone asked about their future, their thoughts naturally drifted toward the same person. Not because they forced it. Not because they planned it. It simply happened. And that realization frightened them a little. Why? Because it meant their feelings had grown much deeper than they originally believed. Then came an unexpected message from a friend who had been present during the confession. The message was short but powerful. It said, "I've never seen you speak about anyone like that before." Those words hit hard. Your soulmate stared at the screen for a long time without replying. Because they knew their friend was right. They had never spoken with that level of certainty. Never revealed that much emotion. Never allowed themselves to be that vulnerable. My child, that message forced them to confront something they had been avoiding for months. The possibility that this connection was no longer just a dream of the future, it was becoming a genuine desire of the heart. And once that realization appeared, it refused to leave. If this message resonates with you, share it with someone who believes that certain connections arrive with a purpose. And if you're enjoying this journey, make sure you're subscribed because the next revelation becomes even more surprising. But the biggest shock arrived just before the night ended. Your soulmate asked themselves a question they had never dared to ask before: what if this feeling isn't temporary? The moment that thought appeared, everything became quiet. They stopped looking for excuses. They stopped explaining things away. Instead, they imagined what would happen if they fully accepted the truth they had confessed earlier. And what they saw changed everything. They realized that despite all the uncertainty, despite all the unanswered questions, one thing had remained consistent: their heart always found its way back to you. Not once, not twice, but again and again. My beloved child, this realization carried enormous weight because it meant the connection had survived distance, distractions, doubts, and time itself. Very few feelings can do that. Very few people leave that kind of imprint on someone's soul. And as they sat there in silence, one final thought entered their mind. It was a thought so powerful that it sent chills through them. What if the reason they could never fully let go was because this story wasn't finished yet? What if everything leading up to this moment was preparing them for a decision they can no longer avoid? Something huge is waiting for you because the next step they are considering is far more serious than anything they've considered before. And in the next part, you'll discover the private promise they made after their confession, a promise that could completely transform the future of this connection.